Today's gonna be fun. I'm gonna show you guys horrible lighting and how to install a set of custom seats in any kind of project. This is directly for a 240SX, but you'll notice that my application has actually slightly changed. I've changed the brackets to lower them, and I've also changed the floor pan to lower it even more. But it's still going to be the same thing no matter what vehicle you put it in, no matter how you're doing it. It's still a universal set of seats in whatever car. It doesn't matter. To get started, you need a handful of things, depending on what kind of hardware your kit came with. Mine came with various different types of hardware. I need a certain Allen key, I need certain wrenches, stuff like that. So, I have all those laid out. You're also going to need your sliders if you plan on using a set of sliders. It's not a must, but in this case, we're trying to retain the sliders. That's why all the effort to lower the seat. Last, you'll need your universal, quote unquote, to whatever car. Like your universal, it'll take your sliders or your seat to fit the car. So this bolts onto the seat or bolts on the slider. I'll show you just kind of how to do that. Let's just get to it. Difficulty wise, man, this is simple. If you're not dealing with any kind of weird stuff and you can get a bolt-in kit and let's just say it actually bolts right in, then this is easily a simple 1 out of 5. Time consumption, that can vary on experience. If you're unexperienced, it can probably take a few hours to do. Now if you're experienced and you know what you're doing and you've done it before, you can get a full set of seats in like an hour. So it's simple. You'll notice in the back here, it's not, there's no bolts. So what you do is you got to cut out the cloth. Now you can use a razor blade, you can use a razor knife. I use Alpha knife, and you just kind of finger around till you find out where the bolt is, poke, and just kind of rotate around and try to get that cloth out. And cut as least amount as possible. I don't like to really cut these up too much. If you really wanted to, you could go through and hack out a big giant section, but there's no need for that, and I don't like doing it. Now, once you got the hole cut out, now that I got some better light, you can see, make sure that the bolt actually will thread all the way in. Obviously it does. You just want to make sure it's not caught up on some cloth. And then, push the edge of the cloth back, take a lighter, and you're just going to kind of burn the edge of that cloth. Make sure you get it all nice and burnt, because what it's going to do is make sure it doesn't fray. Now as for the orientation onto the seat for the slider. Different ones are different. I've had multiple different ones. I've had one where one free slides and one's got a lever that actually locks. These are, to me, a lot safer because both sides of the seat will lock. You won't have a wobbly side of the seat. So, to get that to work, basically this part faces up, because these will only really go in one way. You know, top bolt hole goes in one way, and then you have this piece facing up, because this, which is the connector, will go in like so. It's not very fun putting the connector in, but we'll get there. So now I'll take this, the bolt, slide it through, slide spacer through, get my socket. I've just got an Allen socket. I'm going to run these on. Now I'm not going to do it stupid tight because we're going to take this, slide it up, and we're going to have to figure out an orientation. Let's go. Just enough where I can get to the bottom one, and what I'll be able to do is count these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now when I go to do the other side, I will push that up 7 also, so that when we go to put this on, it orientates correct. Let me get this other side on. This part is the horrendous part. So now we're to the horrendous part, and that's putting this on. We can't put the bottom bolts in because it kind of compacts this arm in to stay into place. So I get all my nuts, my bolts, my spacers, everything all ready, because I'm out here by myself and I'm trying to show you how to do this by yourself. And you'll have your brackets, and these have holes in them, and you'll plop down the holes. Just hold this side on, and it's a pain in the butt to get all this to kind of line up. Pain in the butt's an understatement, I understand that, and you will too. There we go. There's that one, and then that one fell out. Common. Now, I use my foot to hold that one in place, while I bend this one, very haphazardly I may add. Get the bolt, the spacer, get it to line up, get it in place. You only need a handful of threads. Still holding this side or it'll pop up and this whole piece will slide out, which is what it's trying to do right now. And then hold the seat with my leg so the seat doesn't slide. Get the bolt in place, get the spacer in place, and then pull it in. Like so. Now, I just like to hold, keep pressure off of it. But now what you can do is go ahead and fully tighten the top and the bottom. Now you use the same tooth count thing, run the sliders all the way up so you can get to it a little bit easier. You have the same bolts, a washer and a nut. Bolt goes through, but judging by the hole size versus the nut size, and it'll be wobbly, put the washer then the nut. Now I've already put this up on there to see if which bolt hole it fits into, and that's gonna be stupid, isn't it? Yep. And I know it fits to the inside one. Now what's cool about some of these seats and the oblong holes, you can actually put the car in the seat and adjust it side to side slightly. In my case, I'm centering it to start, and then once I know it fits however it fits, it sits however it sits, I may go back through, change it later, but for now, it's going to work out good. Nice. Slides, everything works. I'm just checking it to make sure it's not jamming up anywhere. Like if you force something in a certain location, they're not going to slide up and down correctly. So now you pick up your seat and you go throw it in the car. By the way, you probably about this time want to remove your factory seat. I can't show you that because I don't have factory seats. I don't have seats in the car at all. So all it is, mine was 3 nuts, or 3 bolts, and 1 nut. You slide it up underneath the car, slide the seat back and forth till you find them all, get it out. Undo any seat warmers, seat coolers, and airbags. If you have airbags, like a newer FRS or something like that, any modern car, any real new car has airbags. Pull the battery, press your foot on the brake till the tail lights go out. It means the system has no power. Battery disconnected, no power, airbags can't go off, you're good to go. Now, that's where my disclaimer at the very beginning really comes into play, because I've never ever had an airbag go off, but that doesn't mean you won't. So just be careful, be vigilant, follow the steps, look up your specific vehicle and see if it has airbags, see if there's any issues, see if there's any like residual power that'll cause them to go off. Best to be safe than sorry. There you have it. You got yourself a set of racing seats in your car. They're much nicer. Now, if you get yours in your car and you notice you're sitting really funny, like the driver's side's really messed up, that's because I did a ton of modifications to get the seat to go from like this to go a lot more level and to be quite a bit lower. It's actually 4 inches lower in the front and like 3 inches lower in the back. That way it'll level out that peak that the Spec D brackets are, and most brackets are the same way. The other option, which I may be going and doing, is actually doing a dump bracket where I'll actually lower it even more. Problem is, I can't do that with sliders, or at least haven't quite figured that out, and I will. If you're curious to see how this project is going and how everything else is going and how I'm doing all this stuff to get the seat lower, you can jump on over to Couples Therapy. It's on my channel. You just hop over. It's got a playlist. It's the majority of the content on the channel is this car. It's a resto mod, S13 Boss, which is what I'm saying. It's an S13 with the S14 Boss body kit that's being grafted to it. Metal front fenders with the over flares. The rear flares are being modified. 6.0 LS. Ton of stuff coming. Like, it's insane. We're trying to get seats mounted right now, which is why I did this DIY for y'all, is because next it's roll cage, then chopping the front end off. I'll see you all over there. Thank you for watching. Want some more DIYs? Hit the subscribe button, comment, have any suggestions on lowering the seats, jump over there, comment here, it doesn't matter. Have a good one. Thank you for watching.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school.